Okay, I'm going to do a really quick video on how to replace the brake pedal return spring on a late bay Kombi. This is a 75 model and that spring's broken, so we're going to put in a newie. So first thing to do is remove the split pin holding the retaining pin on the actuator for the brake booster, which I've already unscrewed from that end. So we pull that pin out. Oh, sorry about the footage. It's remove that rod completely. So that's just allowed a lot of freedom in this, which goes through to the brake pedal. I've also pre-loosened this. I hate watching videos where for 10 minutes you're watching somebody fight with a bolt. So pull the pin out of the brake pedal, and that allows this arm to drop down, allowing access to this bolt here. Now that bolt needs to come out fully, as that will lock the shaft in, because it's sort of countersunk into the shaft a bit. So again, all this is pre-loosened, as you'll probably fight it the whole way. Now you have to remove this bolt completely, and I'll show you why in a little while. So then you'll need to drift, pushing a drift through, where's my drift? I found my 1/2 inch extension to be just the right size. You need to drift that through the chassis hole here. You need to push on the center of that shaft, and that shaft's when you look at it, it looks a lot bigger than you think it is, and you think you can get away with a much bigger drift, but you'll probably have to do this with a hammer. But once you push that through, you'll see you've actually pulled out this shaft from where that went to the actuating rod. So I'll drop that out of the way, and there's our lever off, and as you can see, now we've got the spring free to pull out. As you can see with this, that hole, that would have actually locked onto the shaft, and there's some locating ribs there, so you can't really get it in the wrong position. But see how if you'd used a big drift, you might have actually been trying to drift this out, which obviously doesn't come out, it stays with the rest of it. You would have been hammering that for years and just doing lots of damage and not pulling your car apart. So now this shaft won't come out all the way because it'll hit here, so comes about that far, and then it's just a matter of fighting this spring to get it off, which is geez, sorry about the rough footage. There we go, that's the spring now out, and yeah, that spring's broken, snapped off here. So yeah, once you get that out, there's a few other little things to watch. Here, where that shaft come through, there's actually an O-ring. If you used heat or anything to have to drift this out, just be aware that you've no doubt cooked an O-ring. That's the O-ring there, and would have just sat on that shaft. And of course, you know, you want to get that back in there. That's your weather seal to stop that shaft from rusting. And so yeah, grease everything up, and assemblies hopefully just in case the reversal. New spring's got to go on, and you got to fight that the whole way, because you got to try and get the that around the brake lever. Oh, and just one other thing I'll show you is with this shaft that we've drifted off, this bolt must come out fully, because you'll notice if I put that bolt in that hole, see the way it comes, you actually see it there, and that will lock the shaft in place. So if you don't take it out fully, you'll end up doing a lot of damage. And with the drift, you want to drift, that's a 1/2 inch socket, and that'll just fit in, well, not even quite. It needs to be around that size or so. Even this end, it's not really going to fit because of those teeth that are showing there. So yeah, you know, you're probably better with a drift that's slightly smaller than too big, or you'll end up trying to drift on this and that's not moving anywhere. You'll fight that all day long. Okay, when applying the new spring, I found the easiest way to do it was to put the spring on the shaft and lock it into the retaining hole there. Fit the lever, and then get a screwdriver, hook it around behind the lever, picking up the retaining tab here, and then levering the screwdriver around, so you're putting the tension on that spring, coming on the inside of the shaft because you got that little tab where the spring locks onto, and then moving the shaft up to the floor as high as you can, and then just looping the spring over the little shaft. So now that's done, I just pull the screwdriver out, and this shaft now has got lots of tension on it with that spring. That'll stop my brake drag that I've been getting. So now it's just a matter of bolting everything up the way we done it before. Oh, and before you do put the spring on, don't forget to put your locking nut back in and do it up tight, because you won't get to it now. Okay, I hope this has helped. See ya.